In the world today, around 57 million primary school-aged children do not attend any school or educational classes. The main reasons that people do not attend school are poverty, inequality, and culture. It is often miles, and in some cases, villages or towns separating people from the nearest school facility. Children living in a rural environment are twice as likely to be out of school than children living in an urban environment. Children in the wealthiest 20% of the population are 4 times more likely to be in school. There is a lack of educated teachers and administrators in many regions. In many primary schools, there are between 40 to 80 pupils to one teacher. In sub-Saharan Africa, 11.7 million children leave school before finishing their primary education. In South and West Asia, 13.54 million children also leave school. 53% of the world's out-of-school children are girls, and 2/3 of the illiterate people in the world are women. 58 million primary school-aged children are denied the right to education. Mm-hmm. 40% of people in sub-Saharan Africa are illiterate. 53% of the world's out-of-school children are girls, and 2/3 of the illiterate people in the world are women. 58 million primary school-aged children are denied the right to education. 40% of people in sub-Saharan Africa are illiterate. Poverty-stricken countries suffer from a lack of global education. 25% of those in low and middle income countries cannot read. Children in conflict-stricken regions are not likely to attend any schooling. The Global Campaign for Education, GCE, has members based in 100 countries around the world. The Global Campaign for Education, GCE, has members based in 100 countries around the world. The campaign statement says they aim to achieve change across local and national education sectors, whether this is on local corruption issues impacting on the delivery of budgets into schools or national changes in policy to deliver the right of everyone to a quality public education. The United Nations Secretary-General launched the 5-year Global Education First Initiative, GEFI, in September 2012 to accelerate progress towards the Education for All goals and the education-related Millennium Developmental Goals. The initiative aims to 1. Rally together a broad spectrum of actors for the final push to 2015. 2. Put quality, relevant, and transformative education at the heart of the social, political, and development agendas. And 3. Generate additional and sufficient funding for education, including sustained global advocacy efforts. The UN Secretary-General invited a group of its member states to serve as champion countries for GEFI. Their role is to catalyze political and financial support for education among governments. The youth advocacy group, YAG, comprised of young people from around the world, promotes the priorities of youth and GEFI activities and messages. As the GEFI Secretariat, UNESCO provides overall support to the initiative.
This map shows the global literacy rates in the world. As you can see, the map shows that countries in Africa do have the lowest literacy rates, and therefore there is a problem with education. The worst education problems are found in sub-Saharan Africa, and these countries are the green ones on the map. These countries account for 31 million children who are not receiving primary school education, and they hold about 43% of the world's out-of-school children. 10 million children in sub-Saharan Africa drop out of primary school every year, and about 38% of the adults, which is around 167 million, lack basic literary skills. In order to fix the problems of global education in the world today, it's estimated that 1.9 million teachers are needed to achieve universal primary education. 1.1 million of those will be needed in sub-Saharan Africa alone. The reason why a lack of education is so prevalent in this area is mainly because of poverty. So this means that parents are unable to afford the costs of school, including school fees and uniforms. There's also a lack of qualified teachers to actually teach the students. And a lot of the times the schools are located too far from the children's homes. This is especially a problem in rural areas. Lastly, conflicts in these countries make it dangerous for children to go to school. Article 26 states that everyone has the right to education, so these children who are not getting an education are having their human rights violated. Another one that you could say is being violated is Article 23, which is the right to work. Most children and adults don't have great educations, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, and therefore it's hard for them to find a job. This picture shows the importance of education because it breaks the cycle of poverty. Therefore, it's really important that we spread awareness about the lack of education, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, so that these problems can be fixed and the cycle of poverty can be stopped. The best way to improve this problem is to spread the word. As high school students, we can do this through school and community presentations. We can also go on local radio and news stations to explain the importance of education and why it's important that everyone has one. In these presentations, we can urge people to join the Peace Corps so that there's more teachers available through that organization. We can also urge people to donate school supplies or support the UNICEF program that builds schools in Africa. Global education is a current issue today. We can fix it though by working together and working with other nations so that everyone can get an education.